Hey y'all. Ooh, I'm running tonight. I am running tonight. I probably look a mess. I went to the gym and did not make it back in time. But we know what today is. Look, I'm gonna fix my hair while y'all coming in. Oh, I just made it look much worse. It's time for a retwist. While y'all are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and start tagging people, cross-posting, and doing my thing. So it's another week of Crystal Talks Cancer. Aren't we glad to be here? God is so good. So amazing. So amazing. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Okay. I see you. Okay. It says adding. So it should pop you on. Let me see what's going on. Okay, I accepted it. It said that it's adding. Let's see. Let's see what's happening. Try it again. All right, here we go.
Okay.
It was saying adding. I just wanted to make sure. Um, yep, I knew it. It was gonna do it. I don't know what this update Facebook did or whatever they're doing, whatever changes they're making. But now, when I have a guest, I cannot see my guest on here
That's weird.
unless I'm looking at my computer. That's the only time that I can see the guest on here right now. But it's okay because the show is gonna go on, right? Like we gonna be all right on here, right? But it's okay. Let me see. Let's see. See where everybody is. So I have to fix my myself because Facebook it just gets my little face all in the camera and stuff. But when I'm on my computer, I can kind of tell where the angle is. Uh-oh, we got a graduation person in the room today. Hey, Shay.
Hey.
Congratulations, lady. Shay completed her radiation treatments today.
Oh my
Crystal Talk Cancer family. Yeah.
Very
I do want to
cool.
hear from you afterwards, ma'am, if you are free. And Shawanda is here tonight. Oh, we get double. I need to catch up with both of you ladies tonight. We got to catch up. Shawanda is on her second chemo pill round, I believe. Um, if I'm correct, Shawanda, let me know. Um, those of you who are new here, we're basically just warming up the space, allowing everybody the opportunity to come on. Everyone who wants to be here, we're allowing them time to get here. If you know anyone who is normally here and they're not here, please tag them and let them know that we're live. If there's any groups that may come to mind that you know people may need, um, if they may need support, make sure that you tag them. Make sure that you share this post, this live. Facebook has this thing now where they will cut them after 30 days. So I am doing my due diligence to get all of my content back so that I can transfer everything over to YouTube. This is my plan. I just want to throw this out here because when it comes down to YouTube, we can have the full videos. And I had this genius idea that I would upload the photos, I mean the videos, interviews, and post them on Facebook, right? Well, some of you are my friends on Facebook and you saw my workout videos. I combined them and made this one video that was like 4 minutes long. Well, what Facebook did was they went and they cut it into like 8 or 9 parts. I did not do that. Facebook did that. So that better told me that I can do lives here, but as far as backing them to be able to rewatch, I am going to have to upload them to YouTube or another platform. And I am claiming that Crystal Talks Cancer is going to have her own website, and we're going to have our own space, our own safe space to be transparent and connect and communicate. But until then, we're going to work with what we have, and thank God in the midst of the transition of becoming. Okay? That's what we're. I want to know what my face, I'm trying to see, am I too close, too far? Like, am I in a good place on the camera?
Looks good to me.
Um, Let me see. I gotta tag a few people because I'm noticing they're not here yet. So let's see. Shawanda says she starts next week after the 17th. That'll be cycle 2. So you're on your off week. Girl, I love that video that you posted, and I want to say something, especially to you three ladies, and this is for really for everybody who shared, but I actually had the privilege of walking with these ladies through their journeys, and it's it's a little bit different. So, Shawanda, Lachey, and Latrell, and I think I say this on here quite often, and I say it because I want you all to know that you're not alone in not wanting to be transparent. Um, all three of them, when they met me, was like, "Well, I ain't going on a live. I'm not telling nobody nothing. I'm not. I don't have nothing for it. I'm just." And all three of those ladies have shared their stories, and all three of those ladies are currently being transparent in order to help others. And I don't mean on Crystal Talks Cancer. I mean on their personal pages, in the groups. Like, they have started being transparent even in their everyday life. So if you're nervous about being transparent, don't, it's okay. Everybody has a season, and I didn't want to be transparent at first, but it was just something between me and God that I knew that I had to do. Um, and now it's an honor and a privilege to see these ladies come on, be transparent, and share the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. And I applaud you, ladies, for that. Because I know you were like, And for everybody who came on at any point in time, Kendrick, Roderick, come on. I'm on live, baby. Um, I am a mom, so y'all know that. My kids are little babies. Well, they're not little babies, but they're younger. So they test the waters a little bit. now that I'm on live, it's like I want to start coming over here whining about things. And it's not really my oldest, it's my youngest. But um, even Caleb, oh my goodness, Caleb was like, yeah, nah, sis, we can chop it up in this inbox, but I'm not coming on the live stream. And she came on the live stream. And I'm just saying that because transparency is something that we need. It's something that those who are coming behind us really need. Because when you put a face to a diagnosis, it makes it so different. It makes it a different experience. Because I didn't know, like when I was going through my journey, I didn't know that some of my coworkers had gone through cancer diagnoses. And I found out because they started opening up and telling me, and it gave me more hope. So it's definitely something that we have to, I just want to thank all of those who are transparent and those who are not. It's fine. I'm not saying that you're not doing good. You're doing great. You are doing great. At some point in time, what are you doing? Okay, okay, I'm okay. So, and then my youngest just slammed my door. Oh, oh, okay. I can't mom and do crystal sauce cancer at the same time. I had to, yeah, He just slammed the door. Apparently, there's a lot going on in my household tonight. But yeah, yeah. So we're gonna be obedient with time tonight. I am excited. Um, before I get started, I told y'all whenever I have a lot going on or whenever I am overly stimulated, because this is one of those days where I'm umming y'all like crazy. Like it's chemo brain. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna introduce her for everybody who does not know. She will pop up at any given time. Okay, we can be really engaging in a deep intellectual conversation, and guess what? All of that can go out of the window when she shows up. Chemo brain. But we are going to give each other grace, and we're going to be positive, and we may need you to tell us what we were talking about, or I may need you to tell me what I was talking about because my brain just lost whatever it is. Um, be kind, and just know that it's a real thing. Okay, if you haven't experienced it, just know that it's a real thing. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started because it is 8 o'clock. So, hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I have had a pretty interesting week. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Not complaining. Could you introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. So my name's Amy. I am 42 years old. I've been married for over 20 years, and I have 4 children. I have a 20-year-old son, a 17-year-old daughter. Actually, she'll be 18 in a week and a half. And I have twin daughters that just turned 16. So I'm a pretty busy mom.
I was
Oh,
tired just listening when you said twins.
yes. And I'm from Alaska.
Alaska. Did y'all hear that? We're in Alaska right now. We are in Alaska. Ain't God good? We are in Alaska. I just wanted to point that. And she sent me some of the most beautiful pictures of Alaska, you guys. And I'm going to try to remember to share them in the comments. Beautiful. Um, so, Amy, what was life like before? Now, I know you just named the kids and all of the responsibilities. So we know that it was busy. But was it like a good busy? Were you stressed out at all? Like, what was life like for you before your diagnosis?
I feel like I kind of thrive on stress. I'm always pushing myself to do as much as possible. So I was always very involved with my kids' school, driving my kids to all of their activities. Life was very busy. Life was great. Things were starting to slow down a little bit with my kids starting to be able to drive. So that took, that gave me a little more spare time. But I also noticed that I was tired a lot. I would get up in the morning with my kids, take them to school, I'd come home and I'd take a nap. And then by 8, 9 o'clock at night, I was tired and ready for bed, and I would sleep all night. So just fatigue.
I've never heard it said like that. And I like the way that you said it. When you said, I feel like I thrive off stress. I've never heard anyone describe it that way. And it's very familiar because you were saying that you were doing everything, like everything and then some. And then you constantly trying to add other things to your plate. So is that what you meant? Because that's how I took it, because that was kind of familiar for me.
Very much so. It was how much I can cram in a day, how much, what can I do for my kids, that sort of thing, going above and beyond. I like to challenge myself. Okay, yes, I can bake 200 cupcakes today, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, I love the way that you described that. I just want to point that out. So life was very busy. It was very demanding. And you thrived off of getting a lot of things done. So you stayed super busy. When did you find out? How did you find your mass?
So when I was 40, I made an appointment with my gynecologist to get a referral to get my mammogram, because that's what's ingrained in us. We turn 40, we go in and we get our first mammogram. So I had my appointment with my gynecologist. I got the referral, and then life kind of happened and I kept putting off going in. So I put that off for a few months, but then I saw on Facebook a girl that I went to high school with that was in my graduating class. She had let everyone know that she was battling triple negative breast cancer. And that shocked me because I thought, we're young, how is this happening? And I said, I need to go in and I need to get checked. So I made my appointment. I got my mammogram. The ladies were very nice. They told me that it was really normal to get called back in for a second mammogram because our first mammogram was just kind of a base. They were just kind of exploring what it looked like. And sometimes they needed to have you come back in and get a better view.
Mm-hmm.
So they called me back in, wanted me to do a second mammogram. I thought of it. This is pretty standard procedure. So I had my mammogram done, and then they told me we need to do an ultrasound. So they immediately took me right from there to the room that they do ultrasounds in. They spent quite a bit of time looking around. I've had kids, I've had ultrasounds before, when I was pregnant, so I was pretty familiar with the process. And I could see what looked like a black hole, kind of a negative space in there. And that's when I knew, okay, this is not good. And the guy that was doing my ultrasound said, you need a biopsy. There's two places we need a biopsy. I can do it right now. And I kind of panicked and I said, well, I want my husband here with me. And I said, so I'd like to come back and do it. And I asked him, I said, is this just a standard procedure? You see something, you want a biopsy just to make sure? And he said, no, this is really concerning. And it was that point where I'm sure every woman that's been diagnosed, it just kind of hits you. And at that point, I really felt I have breast cancer. And so I did my research then of where I wanted to go for a second opinion if it was in fact malignant, which I'm here, so you know how that went.
Yeah. So your initial visit to the doctor, you found out the same day.
I didn't find out the same day. I found out I needed a biopsy.
Well, I mean, like
So
after the initial appointment. So after the initial appointment, you got the biopsy, but you found out when they wanted more, um, when they wanted to test more spots. That's
yes,
when you found out. So it was like was it your second appointment?
yes,
What was going
yeah.
through your mind at that time?
Shock. I was just completely in shock. I thought I'm too young. I don't really have a family history. I just, I was in shock, and I had to leave that appointment and go watch my daughter at a sporting event. And so I keep it together um, for that. And I made an appointment for my biopsy, and I wasn't able to get in for 6 days. So I had to spend those 6 days upset, anxious, waiting, even though I felt in my heart that it was going to come back malignant. And I got my biopsy on a Thursday afternoon. My husband was there with me, and the next weekend we had a trip planned. My daughter had a very big sporting event in a town that was a 4-hour drive away. So it was going to be 2 nights in a hotel room. We were going to do the whole weekend. And I was told that I would find out my results probably Monday afternoon, but no later than Tuesday. Well, right as we were leaving town on Friday afternoon, I got a notification from my chart, and my pathology report was in there, and it was malignant.
Mm. That was I can't imagine what that ride was like.
Um, it was really stressful. You know, I found out in the car. I read my report as soon as it came in, and I felt like I couldn't breathe
Go ahead.
for the first. I felt like I couldn't breathe when I read those words, invasive carcinoma. I just feel like everything stopped, and I immediately got on the phone with MD Anderson to make my appointment for, I guess, a second opinion, even though I hadn't even really gotten my first opinion yet.
So I just want to plug this in for a moment, and I want because you found out through your my chart, and my whole thing, we have a my chart for us, right? But I typically tell ladies not to look at their my chart, to let the doctor tell them, and that way they can have the conversation. Do you think that that is good advice to give?
I think it I think it varies on the person. For me, I was very thankful that I read my report, because I called right away to MD Anderson and was able to get that ball rolling as soon as possible. My gynecologist that would have received that report, she was actually out of state, and she didn't call me to tell me my results until Wednesday.
Mm, okay.
I'm very thankful that it was in my report.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I feel if you're mentally capable of handling that type of information without having someone to ask questions to, um, it's a go. But I typically, even for me going through the journey now, like if when I do scans, I don't look at it. It's scan anxiety is a real thing for us, and
Very
the
much so.
anxiety from waiting, it's heavy, but
Mhm.
I don't even look. I can't get myself to that
Wow.
point to where I can look. I have to wait on my team, or I call my nurses and I'm like, hey, nobody's called me yet, and I'm reminded no news a lot of times is good news. So I don't know. Every person is different. Shawanda said she found out the same way by reading her chart. So it depends on your mental, because see, I have a lot. I'm nosy, right? I have a lot of questions, especially um when it comes down to Shawanda said, yeah, I was a hot mess after she see her my chart. Yeah, like if I don't know. Y'all are strong. Because I will see that my chart and I'm like, yeah, wait, let them. I'm calling them like, hey, open this file for me real quick so I can ask you whatever questions, like, how do we move forward? What do we need to do? Like, what does this mean? I want those questions right then and there when I'm reading it. That's just me. But
Right.
everybody's different. Like my mental capacity to handle something like that. I'm thankful because I do have access to doctors and practitioners outside of the hospital. So that's a blessing within itself. So I can ask those particular questions, but it's a little nervous. It makes me just a little bit nervous. And I love that you were proactive and got another opinion. So what was it? What did you
Sorry.
what did you think about
Out.
what was it for you in the second opinion? Where did you said MD Anderson.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You said the second opinion was at MD Anderson. So
Yes.
what were your thoughts and feelings about the second opinion? Like once you got started with MD Anderson, what was the second opinion? But I guess before I ask that question, what was the treatment plan for your first oncologist?
Okay, so my first appointment with my local oncologist, going off of my ultrasound and my MRI, they thought I was stage 1, maybe stage 2. They saw a lymph node that was thickened, but they couldn't quite see it on ultrasound. They couldn't find it to biopsy it. So they said stage 1, stage 2. When they did my biopsy, they also did my oncotype, and it came back as 13, which is low enough that they were not recommending chemotherapy for me. So I was absolutely ecstatic at that news. Um, then I went to MD Anderson, and they repeated all of my imaging. They mammogram, ultrasound, MRI. I met with my breast surgeon. She read my MRI report, and it was actually after our kind of at the very end of our appointment, she had to come get us and bring us back to the exam room to tell me that the spread was a lot more extensive than they thought. I didn't just have 2 tumors. It had grown into my chest wall, and I had a tumor in between my ribs, and they recommended that I get a bone scan, CT scan, and a chest wall biopsy. And of course, you a lot of you know the initial shock of the diagnosis. I got, another
Say that
shock.
one more time. The initial shock, and then your phone kind of.
Sorry. The initial shock of being diagnosed with breast cancer was devastating and horrible. And then it felt like that all over again when I got the news that it had spread in between my ribs. It was just absolutely a devastating blow to me, and I was terrified.
Yeah. What was your mind like knowing the two separate? Because I mean, they were two completely different diagnoses. Like, how did you wrap your mind around that?
I did not do a good job wrapping my mind around that. I was an absolute wreck for a few weeks. My anxiety was through the roof. When I get really stressed out, I get really sick to my stomach. So for the rest of the day and into that night, I was throwing up in our hotel room, in an unfamiliar city, in an unfamiliar place. I was sick. I couldn't eat. I I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to leave my kids without a mom. And it was terrifying. I went in very confident that we caught this early and I'll just get it cut out and I'll be fine. And then my entire treatment plan changed. They said, you, I'm going to have to get chemo. That was a given to try to shrink what was in there. And then they said, we'll have to reconvene and talk after you get your bone scan and your chest wall biopsy. So my bone scan, I was terrified with it being in between my ribs, but it came back that they did not see any cancer in my actual rib bones. So that was incredibly good news for me. My CT scan did not show any lesions in my liver or lungs or anything like that. So they went ahead with my chest wall biopsy, and I was really hoping that they would find that it was inflammation in there, because I got a lot of inflammation from my biopsy, because they hit a vein and I bled out a lot. So I was really hoping it was that, but it was not. It was malignant also.
Mm.
So my surgical plan drastically changed as well.
So, what was the the treatment plan, and what was the diagnosis? Like, invasive. It was stage. It went from stage. I'm assuming stage 1 to stage 4.
They had originally, when they saw that my chest wall biopsy was positive, they told me that I was probably stage 4, but stage 4 treatable.
Okay.
They recommended that I do 4 rounds of AC chemo, 12 rounds of Taxol, and then have a mastectomy. My surgeon, wonderful. I really had a hard time, like so many women, deciding, okay, do I get a double? Do I get a single? What do I do? There's so many pros and cons. But my surgeon said I needed to get a single mastectomy because of the extent of my spread, because chemo didn't shrink it as much as they had hoped it would. They ended up having to do a single mastectomy. They took all of my lymph nodes out. I had 18 out.
Mm.
They did a chest wall resection, and they took 3.1-inch pieces of my ribs. So a whole rectangle out, even my ribs, they had to remove.
That's very rare.
It's incredibly rare.
That is
I
very rare. When I say you are literally a walking testimony, you are a walking testimony.
Yep. I scoured all the Facebook groups that I'm in for somebody that had a surgery like mine, so I could talk to somebody that had been through it, that could give me some advice, some guidance. And I didn't find a single person that had ribs removed. It's incredibly uncommon. And so I kind of went in it not exactly knowing what to expect.
Yeah. Um.
And
Go ahead.
then since I'm from out of state, I went to Houston 2 days before my big surgery, and that was the only time I could meet with my plastic surgeon. So I had already met with my breast surgeon. I also had to have a thoracic surgeon because he was the one that did my removal of my ribs and chest wall. But I met with my plastic surgeon literally the night before my surgery. And she kind of dropped another bombshell on me. She told me that since I was having so much removed and I was going to need radiation, that they needed to do what's called a lat flap to add padding for radiation. So they cut muscle and skin from my back and tunneled it through my side under my armpit and put it over my front to give me padding for radiation. She told me during the appointment there was about a 30% chance that I would need that extra padding, but they wouldn't know until they got in there what exactly they needed to do, and that I just needed to trust them to make the right call. And what do you do? I said, okay, do what you feel that you need to do. And so I woke up from surgery thinking that they were going to remove 2 pieces of ribs. But when they got in there, they found that my tumor that was between my ribs was actually had grown in behind my ribs a little bit. And in order to get clean margins, they needed to take 3 pieces.
Mm.
And they needed to kind of guess how big of pieces of ribs that they needed to take in order to get clean margins. Even though they did have pathology in there, it's kind of hard to do pathology on bone. But after my surgery and I got my pathology report back, they were able to get clean margins by more than 5 millimeters, which is very, very good thing.
That's amazing. Because it's very rare, and with everything that you've gone through, like that is absolutely amazing. Lachey said, "Wow." Ellie says, "So thankful you did come to MD Anderson for a second opinion." And she said, "Aimiee is an amazing woman and warrior." Cara said, "You are very strong." Yeah, very strong. Very, very,
It was
very strong.
it was it was hard. It was a 7-hour surgery, which is a really long time, but for everything that they had to do surgically wise, I'm surprised that they were able to get it done in 7 hours. And I had to stay in the hospital for 7 days. I had four drains, 2 from the front, 2 from the back, and I also had to have a chest tube that was about a half an inch, about the size of my pointer finger.
What was what was chemo like for you?
What was chemo
What was
like?
chemo like for you?
So I kind of I don't want to say I lucked out, but I feel like I'm one of the luckier ones where my side effects weren't as extreme. I didn't, like so many of us, I went in not knowing what to expect. I was terrified. I was crying when they first hooked me up, but I started to get nauseous about 2 days later, and I followed my doctor's instructions. They said if you start to get nauseous, take the anti-nausea medication. You need to stay up on it. Well, I took one and it kind of wore off. I didn't feel that bad. I was able to eat. I found that if I kept something small in my stomach at all times, that really helped. So applesauce was my go-to. I'd get up in the middle of the night and eat a little bit of applesauce, and it just kind of soothed my stomach. So I only took that anti-nausea pill one time. I never ended up throwing up. So that was good. The Neulasta shot that a lot of us have to get to help boost our white blood cell counts, that gave me body aches. I felt like I had the flu. And those body aches seemed to get worse with the infusion of the AC. However, my nausea, weird as it is, my third and fourth round were actually much better than my first and second, which normally doesn't happen, but I took it. I was very thankful. I did get a pretty bad headache my first and second round, but other than that, I did great with AC. With Taxol, it's a little bit different of a story. My first round, I started to get a little sore. I started to ache. And it progressively got worse. Every round, I had the pain longer. Like the first round, maybe a day or two of aching. Third and fourth, maybe 2 or 3 days. And by the end, I never got a break. It was constant pain all the time. And I'm really stubborn, so I'll just be honest there. And I did not take any medication for pain. I did not take ibuprofen. My doctor prescribed me tramadol and was trying to get me to take tramadol for the pain, and I didn't take anything. So I only took ibuprofen one time during my entire 5 months of chemo, and that was for my headache. But I did not take any pain relief for the bone pain, and it was significant. It would keep me up at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What is it like now for you as far as
Now,
the bone pain?
my bone pain went away, and the sad and kind of ironic thing is the bone pain lingered for a few weeks after chemo, and it finally let up. I finally had a day free of pain, and that was the day before my surgery. And I laughed. I'm like, thank you. Okay, God has a sense of humor. I get
Yeah.
1 day pain and then surgery.
Yeah, you get you get 1 day to feel normal, and then
One
you go
day.
to surgery. But that's because I had a lot of the side effects, and even now, like I'm having a hot flash. That's why if y'all see my poker face and it's looking all mad, I'm not mad. I'm fighting hot flash. Um, but when it comes down to like the muscle aches and pains, it's one of those it's one of those things that lingered. And when you were talking about it got progressively worse, like it got progressively worse for me. Like the side effects that I had, everything just went up. So I'm glad you had you had a day. I mean, it was before your surgery, which sucked.
Yeah.
But I felt that anxiety every time it was time to go and get chemo. Did you experience that? Because it's like in my mind, I know the side effects. I know what I'm about to have to deal with. I know that I'm gonna feel like crap all over again for at least another 2 weeks. And then I'll have a few days that last week to feel normal just to go and get chemo again. Was that like
Right.
the cycle for you?
Um, I really felt like that during AC chemo, my second, um, because the doctors say it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's cumulative. So I was a little nervous my second round, and then honestly, I kind of, now this is going to sound very weird, but I kind of enjoyed going to my Taxol chemo because of the IV Benadryl. I got a really good nap. It would just kind of put me out. And I know that sounds so weird, but
No, it doesn't.
the pain that I was having, it was keeping me up at night. I knew when I would go in there, they'd give me the IV Benadryl and it would just relax me and I could take a nice nap. So weird, yes.
And it's not weird. And I'm going to tell you why it's not weird. Because of a lot of us experience, even now with me taking Lupron and Letrozole, like I deal with insomnia still. I still
Mm.
deal with the muscle aches and pains. You know, I deal with those things. But when it comes down to like the medication, a lot of times the doctors will prescribe the Tramadol, the Ambien, um the sleep aids and things for you to go to sleep. And that's the only way you can get a good night's sleep. Like some nights I have to take something in order to get a good night's sleep because your body is feeling what it feels and you can't really rest because of it. And that Benadryl nap and that Benadryl nap was the best. I did not have Benadryl. They never gave me Benadryl with chemo, but I've seen some people in there mouth wide open, and I'm just looking like, oh, I wish my nap would, you know. I couldn't go to sleep during treatment. I don't know why. I know why. I was too busy trying to talk to my nurses and stuff, but
Yeah.
asking questions. Um,
I did I was able to go to sleep after, I did ice my hands and feet during Taxol, and so when those kind of when I was done icing, then I'd just fall asleep.
um, so hold on, because I sent a question. I think it was about uh, chemo. Do you feel like your bone pain, was from chemo or the Neulasta? Which one?
I feel during AC chemo, my muscle aches were from the Neulasta. But the bone pain that I had, that was from Taxol. I wasn't getting Neulasta during Taxol. It was definitely, and it doesn't affect everybody, but for me, it was pretty significant, and it would help if I moved. I still exercised all through chemo until the last 3 weeks where I couldn't get a break from the pain, and so the last 3 weeks I wasn't going on my walks.
So you kept busy. That's really a good thing. It is an amazing thing that you kept busy. Because I wasn't busy. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not busy. I did not keep busy. I was in the middle of a spiritual warfare, I feel, and a mental warfare. Mm, I was not busy. I was not very active. Um, chemo hit me, and when it hit me, it hit me. And I tried. Like, we went to the mall, and I don't know why. Okay, it was our anniversary, and my husband took me to the Gaylord Texan. If anybody's familiar with the Gaylord Texan, it's like an indoor hotel, and it has like all of these things, right? And I had never been there. During the holidays, they do the 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 ornaments and they decorate and put lights up and all of those things. I could not walk around that place, and that was my very first time being there. So I applied all ladies. Then like Miss Barbara, she did. She was the guest on, and she also did exercising throughout her treatments. So that's something that I tell ladies: if you can, get up and move. Um,
Yep.
I moved, but I just did not move as much. I wasn't going to the gym. I'm just, you know, I was not going to the gym
My
because I
college,
went through during COVID.
sorry to interrupt you. My oncologist recommended that I exercise if I could
Mm-hmm.
because she said that there's studies out there that have shown if you exercise during chemo, it makes chemo more effective.
Mm-hmm.
It, I don't know if it necessarily made my chemo more effective because my chemo was only, I only had a 50% response. So it only killed it only killed 50% of my
Okay.
tumors, I should say.
Okay. Yeah. But that's still, I mean, you're still a walking testimony, even with that 50%. That
Mm-hmm.
50% is what you needed. So that's still an amazing thing because look at you now. Where are you now in your journey?
So I am now almost 3 months out from having 6 weeks of radiation. I am on um, Zoladex, the Zoladex shot. I am on Kisqali, and I am on Exemestane. And I'm doing fairly well with those. I mean, I do have, like you talked about, the insomnia. That is definitely a thing. It's hard for me to sleep. I get mild hot flashes. They're more annoying than anything. Sometimes they wake me up at night. Sometimes not. I seem to get them more in the evening and then at night than I do during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a little bit of joint pain. So if I sit too long and I get up, I'm kind of stiff, but I really can't complain because I know a lot of women have had much stronger reactions to those medications.
Yeah. I want to, I'm trying to be obedient with time. So if y'all are noticing, I'm trying to be obedient with time tonight. Um, so I'm trying to get the meat of everything. So I do want to make sure that I ask you, what are some things that disappointed you during your journey? Like, what are some things that someone else may be experiencing and they may feel alone in that particular thing? Was there anything in your journey that made you feel like nobody around you understood or you felt alone?
Yeah, I would say it was very hard for me to go through this journey without my mom. My mom died 9 years ago from cancer, not breast cancer, a completely unrelated rare cancer. So it was very hard to go through without her. Um, Another thing that I feel was difficult is so many people don't understand your journey. And it's a long journey. And people might, in the beginning, let me know if I can help. What can I do? But then 10 months later, you're still in the throes of fighting this disease. And I feel like it just kind of wore itself out. And talking with a lot of women, cancer ghosting is a thing. And it's sad that there's even a name for it. But I don't feel like anybody necessarily ghosted me, but I feel like there were people that I expected to step up and support me, and they did not meet what I expected they would do. However, on the flip side, I had people like Ellie who commented, who stepped up to help me in ways I could never repay her for.
Yeah.
So, cancer, I feel like, kind of redefines our relationships, and you find out who cares about you and maybe who doesn't.
That is a um Joan, I just want to read this comment before I say what I was going to say. Joan said, same here. My mom was in hospice and I couldn't tell her. I lost her this past Monday during radiation. It's destroyed me.
Sorry.
Joan, I am definitely uplifting you in prayer, and I know that when we spoke last, you told me that you hadn't told your mom. I just want you to stay encouraged and to know that you have support if you ever need it. Don't feel like you can't call me, reach out to me, and talk to me. I do not know. I cannot say that I understand what you ladies have experienced because I still have my mother, and that is a blessing. But I want to be here and I want to just be of support to you. So I wanted to make sure that I let you know that just stay encouraged and stay in the fight and remember that you're still here for a reason. There's a purpose behind it. And we just have to get to that point where we understand exactly what that purpose is. And just know that everything that you're doing, and when I say everything that you're doing, like going through radiation and fighting for your life, I'm pretty sure your mother is proud of you because it takes a lot of strength, and some of us know what it's like to just tell God I'm done and want to actually be done. So just keep going, okay? I just want you to keep going. Um,
Absolutely.
I was going to say, I don't remember what I was going to say.
That's okay. There's something that I kind of wanted to talk about
Okay.
too. So I wanted to talk about the recovery from my surgery. Um, my surgery was definitely extreme. I had cording. After my surgery, I could only raise my arm parallel to the floor. I had to have physical therapy, and the physical therapists helped me tremendously. I was very stubborn and did my stretching like crazy. They told me do it twice a day. I was doing it 3 times a day. I was able to get my range of motion back. And now, about 2 months after my surgery, my range of motion was just about normal, and it's normal now. I still stretch every day. Um, I work out, maybe not every day, I should, but I just want people to know that are going through it that you're going to heal and you're going to be okay and you're going to be able to go get back and do what you love to do. And if I can do it, and I had, basically 3 surgeries in one, I had ribs removed, I had all of this stuff, that if I can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. 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 And it's everybody's journey is different. And I should have started with that. Everybody's journey is different. And Joan, Joan is on my mind and in my heart right now. But Aimiee, you are a walking testimony. I mean, just I would brag about how rare I am. Oh, you're not tough. I'm walking around with a triangle of my ribs gone. God kept me
Right.
for a reason. You better watch out. He don't play about me.
Um,
Um,
I definitely say that.
huh?
I definitely say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
And you
doctor,
should.
yeah, they'll ask me, okay, are you experiencing any pain? Yeah. I mean, I still have a little pain on my side, and they're like, well, can you rate it? And I'm like, um, a 0.2. Like, this is nothing compared to what I've been through. And
That's it.
I
That's it.
definitely,
Go ahead.
for
It's
sure.
just hard to because I can't see you, so it's like I'm
Right.
trying to jump in. It's No, but I was just gonna say, like, that's it. Like, once you've gone through chemo and you've gone through radiation and you've gone, like, when you go through the thick of these treatments and it tears your body down, your body can feel 50% better than what it did back then, and you're not going to complain. That's just,
No.
that's the reality for me. Like, I can feel bad. And I'm like, no, I'm okay because I know what it was like when I went through chemo. My side
Yeah.
effects were different, and then the surgeries, not
Mm-hmm.
surgery, the multiple surgeries and the chemos and the radiation,
Yep.
you learn. It's like your mind tells you it's not that bad. You'll be fine. You've been
Right.
through worse. You have it to compare. You have something to compare it to. I asked in the comments, and I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but anyone who wants to join, ask questions, give a word of encouragement, or anything, please let me know that you want to join, or go ahead and send a request to join button because I'm trying to be obedient with time tonight. Aimiee is in Alaska and has other things after the live, so I want to make sure that I'm being respectful of her time. Um,
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you. Oh, that's what I was gonna say when we were talking about ghosting. There's so many women, and I think that's the hardest conversation that I have had to have with the amount of ladies that I've had to have it with, and I don't think it gets easier because people don't understand that even if you don't know what to say, it's okay to show up and not say anything at all. But then when you don't show up and you don't say anything at all, it makes that person feel like at the end of the day, you know, you really don't care. Your life is going to be what it is, and I'm just stuck. It makes you feel like nobody cares. But what I love about the story, especially my own journey, what I love about it is God sent me more people to, I'm not going to say replace the people that didn't show up for me, that I felt should had or would had shown up for me, but He replaced those people with other people. And I mean, it's like three per person. It's like, okay, Lord, I done met all these. I have a lot of sisters now. I have, a lot of people that I meet on here and I talk to and engage with. And then when I was going through the journey, it was like people at the hospital. I met people in organizations and things like that. Like there's a lot that can be said about ghosting when it comes down to going through the journey. But I want everybody to focus on the reality that some people don't know what to say or how to say it. And it is hard to process the reality that this person that I love so dearly did not show up for me when I needed them to. But you can't carry that anger. You can't carry that. You can't feel any kind of way about it. And I'm saying that because that keeps you back in this place of holding on to stress, holding on to anxiety. So we have to learn how to process these emotions and let them go. Speak them out, talk to them, talk to that person. I had a conversation with the person that I felt was not there, and I just knew that they would be. And we had a conversation, and it is what it is. Everybody's life goes on when we're dealing with this, and that's what it feels like. And it's a reality, though. And I don't want to sound harsh, but I personally had to come to the reality that if the Lord called me home, life is still going to go on for everybody else. So I can't get caught up here, stuck in being in resentment or harvesting um, disappointment for a relationship that did not thrive when I needed it to. So I just wanted to tell y'all that, like, let's learn to just talk about it, talk it out, and move forward instead of being angry about it. Because if you stay in that angry place, like you're missing opportunities to even meet other people because now you just your mood is just all messed up because you're looking for that person or those people to be there, and it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
Um, so anything like, is there anything else about your journey that you learned? Like, what is I talk for me, it's my learning speech. So I can tell people all the things that I've learned going through the journey, and I just list them. So what is your learning speech? Like, what are the things that you've learned about yourself and about how you loved yourself before versus now?
So before my cancer diagnosis, I struggled with anxiety. I would have anxiety attacks. I struggled with, I guess, wanting to be in control of the situation at all times. And it was a struggle for me. And at first, like I talked about, I did have that panic. I had that anxiety. And then it went away. I I prayed a lot, and I really came to the realization that I don't need to fight God. I am not in control of any of this. I am chained on the roller coaster. I can't get off of it. I just need to, I guess, just take it. And it was very freeing for me. And I I got a prescription for anxiety medication to take during this journey in case I needed it. And I never did, because my anxiety just, it kind of melted away, and I just accepted things for what they were and dealt with it as they came, and I have more peace because of it.
Mm,
I have more faith and more peace.
I love that. I love that you found more peace. It's relinquishing control for me was a big thing as well. And this journey will definitely show you that you control absolutely nothing. Like your everyday life, we go through, and I saw a post that said you don't have any problems until you have a health problem, and it kind of hit me different because I'm like, yeah, because I went through things before, and I'm sure we all have, and the things that we went through before was like, okay, whatever. I'm frustrated about it, but I can fix it. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna, But then when you go through something like cancer, it's like, okay, this is a problem that I cannot fix. This is a problem that I have to relinquish, and I have to really talk to God and let him know, like, okay, God, this all you. You got to relinquish that control because you really don't have it in the first place. And so I'm
No.
glad that now with the anxiety, I mean, we kind of flipped on that one because I did not have. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't have it. I was not um diagnosed with anxiety before going through. Um, that doesn't mean that I didn't have it because I believe that I had an anxiety attack at work and I didn't know what it was. I think they started coming in waves, but I didn't know what they were. So now it's a little bit, but it's the residual from the things that have happened throughout the journey. Of course, everybody's journey is different, but I love
Yeah.
that you found peace, and I'm finding peace in finding my purpose. So finding your peace is something that a lot of people should look forward to, even though you don't see it now. It's something about it that a lot of us find ourselves, and we find our peace, we find our worth, we find out, I'm pretty cool, I'm pretty dope, like people, whatever. I have a voice. My voice matters. Like we all find the things out about us that we should have known a long time ago in the hardest seasons of our life. And it's a rewarding thing. Like I want you all to know that a cancer diagnosis is not a punishment. And it doesn't have to be a punishment. It doesn't have to feel like a punishment. you have to make sure that you keep your mind tight, your mental tight as possible. And
Right.
it's hard. As we heard here tonight, it's not easy. We all break, we all crumble, we all go through the emotions behind everything. But we have to relinquish that false sense of control, and we have to trust God and know that this is not a punishment. He is just
Right.
allowing me, to find my purpose, and to find what I'm supposed to do after this. Because there is a greater purpose for it, and I believe it. Um, um, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity. If there's nobody that wanted to join, um, I do want to do a couple follow-ups before we end, but I want to give Aimee the opportunity because I know that she has to go. Um, Lachey and Shawanda, if you two are still here, I would love to do a follow-up with you afterwards. Um, but Aimee, thank you so much for saying yes and for I think we connected on a post, or did I inbox you? I can't remember.
Yeah, a post in one of the groups, and I definitely felt led to do it because I feel we're talking about purpose. One of my purposes now is to help other people, and I've been through it, and I want to help other people that are going through it as well. So by commenting positive things on Facebook, encouraging others, volunteering at my local hospital, even potentially writing a book to help others. That's my purpose right now.
Yeah. And you are going to do great. You have a story to tell, and I'm telling you, everybody wants to hear it. And it's going to encourage and inspire so many others because it's very rare. It's very rare. And I'm
Very.
gonna, I meet people all the time, and I'm telling you, I have never heard. Now, I told you before we got on about Mr. York. He had esophageal cancer, and they stretched his intestines all the way up his throat. I talk about him sometimes here. I mean, walking testimony. You are a walking testimony, and I just want you to know that your transparency here tonight is very much appreciated. And when we are done, I think Shawanda and Lachey probably have popped out. Um, but whenever we're done here tonight, I will be adding you to the Crystal Talks Cancer VIP group. And that group is a group of ladies who have joined and shared their stories. And I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. Hold on, Paula. Um, in this group, there's a lot of ladies who have joined already and shared their stories. And so you'll be connected to those ladies.
Okay.
The group is kind of quiet right now, but it's a place for me to keep up with everyone. And I am. She'll want to send me a request book. And I am looking forward to seeing you there. And I want to thank you so much again for saying yes and for sharing your story all the way from Alaska. All the way from Alaska. Like, I am still excited about that reality. But thank you for sharing all the way from Alaska. And I'm going to follow up with Shawanda, but I want I want to go ahead. I know that you have something that you have to do, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Um,
Okay.
and I look forward to seeing you later. Hopefully, you can come back on again, and
Love that.
we'll definitely be in touch.
All
All
right. Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you,
Bye.
Shawanda. I am adding Shawanda. So we're going to get a follow up from Shawanda. Oh, Paula, I'm going to have to give you the rundown. Shawanda, I don't know what happened. Let me see. Um, it's good to see you, Paula. you know I'm weird like that, so I jump in inboxes and things like that. Is Shawanda here? Let's see, because I can't
Yeah, I'm
see
here.
you. How are
I'm
you?
here. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I'm looking
Okay.
at the phone. I mean the computer.
Okay.
Look, I'm like, let me see. Look, I gotta see your head now, child.
Oh
Hold
yes.
on.
I got my little thing going. Hold on, let me see.
I'm trying to see, girl. Okay. How is how is your off week going for you?
Um, it's going pretty good. I still have like fatigue, um, little stomach issues, but it's not bad.
You might have to take off the headphones. It's kind of
Okay,
low.
hold
Yeah.
on.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it's just for me. So for those of you who are familiar with Shawanda, um,
Can you hear me
Shawanda,
now?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Um, Shawanda went through triple negative, and she did radiation, and now she's on the chemo pill. There's a
Yes.
video that Shawanda posted earlier today where she was talking about her side effects with the chemo pill. And I know there's a lot of ladies who have asked me to let them know about the chemo pill, and um, I do not. I can only tell you what other ladies tell me, because mainly the people who go through the chemo pill are triple negative. I was triple positive. So, Shawanda, can you give us a quick rundown your um of your first week?
So my first week was hard. I ain't gonna lie. I basically like the fatigue, the stomach ache, um, and feeling nauseous. And then I also think I had a moment too where I just broke down because it was like chemo effects again. When you think you're done with chemo, and then it's like you got to do the pill, and it's like these are the same side effects. But I pretty much just prayed about it and just got through it, and it hasn't been like really bad. I've been able to manage it, and I just been um just trying to be more active and stuff. I do go to the gym now, so I try to do that.
Girl, we gonna be fine on somebody, bitch. You hear
Right.
me?
I did. I've been in bed now because I did a Zumba class today at 6:30. So, whew, that was a workout.
That's
But
good. I'm so proud of you.
yeah, like I was saying, I'm just learning to just slowly get back to not how I was, because how I was like work and home and stuff. I'm just learning to like appreciate life more and doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, what's the name of the pills that you're taking right now?
Um, I can't pronounce it. I think it started with an X, but she said you can call it like Chad, or something like that. It's X. Hold on, my brain don't be working.
Yeah, that's a side effect, I'm sure. So, anybody is taking, um, if anybody is taking the chemo pills, I know Vanessa took the chemo pills. I don't think she's on here tonight. I should have tagged her. But Vanessa she was taking the chemo pills as well. Um, I know the name of it. It's right there. Like I can
Yeah.
see it in my head, but I can't say it. Um, but she told me what it was.
Um. I wish I could look it up.
Just type it in the comments when you get a chance,
Okay.
and that way, John will know, because she was asking what the name of it was. Okay. I was hoping we got the opportunity to see Lachey tonight. Lachey completed radiation. And
Mm-hmm.
as you know, Shawanda, for those of you who have been watching for a period of time, Shawanda and Lachey both went through the journey around the same time. So they kind of mirror each other's journeys. And it was like, I was so excited to introduce them. Y'all. I was like, wait, she's going through it. She just started. I was like, okay, let's. And so I was excited because then, like with me and Latrell, I was going through a different type of chemo. I was going through that 14 Silas, and she was just starting TC, and it was I was able to help her, but I felt like these two ladies going through the journey, whoever was going first could kind of help the person coming behind them, and it worked out. So uh, I'm just excited because Lachey has finished radiation, and you have
Yeah.
to be there. You have to know if you have not gone through radiation. For some people, they say chemo is worse. Some people say radiation is worse. It just depends on the person. But none of it is easy, y'all. And when you go from I'm getting 20 rounds to I'm getting like 30 something rounds, and Shay got on here and told us about this a few weeks back. She basically had 30 something rounds like I did. When I went through it, I had radiation dermatitis. So initially, when people tell me how many rounds, it's like most of the time it's less than what I had, and I'm thankful that they have, less. But that mental, when you're doing 30 something rounds of radiation, that mental, that emotional, but God,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
she made it through.
It's hard.
She made it through. And I'm just excited that she made it through. And I'm excited that Shawanda made it through and that she's on to this part. And this is, like I told you before, it's like insurance. It's better to have it than to not. And
Mm-hmm.
so stay in it. I heard your video, and I heard when you were talking about you had a mental day. And I can only keep reminding you, Lachey, and all the other ladies, you have a support system. You have to utilize it. Melissa, um, our guest that came on, was it last week, the week before last? The dates are running in my head together right now, but Melissa came on and she shared um, in the group, and I loved it. You know, utilize the support system because you have it. Don't just go through the motions and feel like you have to go through them by yourself because you don't.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that you were in the know about that. I gotta push it, y'all. A little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Medicine.
Is there anything that you want to say to anybody who's going through the chemo pill before we end?
Yes, I'm just gonna say like don't. I know because for me it's hard, and I know for anybody else it's probably hard too. But I'm just gonna say like don't give up. Even though you want to quit, even though you feel like I don't want to do this, I don't want to take this. Just look at it as really preventing it from coming back, or even if it's spread, or even if it's a little tiny bit. Just look at it like that. So
It's insurance. Don't forget, y'all.
yeah,
It's insurance. It's better to have it than to not.
yeah, yeah.
So stay in the fight. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell anybody on here that, oh, it's easy. You're going to go through it and it's going to be a cakewalk. No, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you're going to have things. But just remember that the God we serve is bigger than those things.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you see all of these people coming on, all of the ladies that have shared. You see that it is doable. Okay?
Mhm.
This is doable. It's not impossible. We went through it, we got through it, and we're here helping others come through it. So it's doable. Just keep going, keep being obedient, and pay attention. Um, Everything that I said earlier about not looking at it as a punishment, I mean that. Look at it as I need a moment to
Yeah.
to get myself together, or I needed a moment to slow
Yeah.
down, and now I'm receiving that moment.
And also too, I was thinking like looking at it as a second chance. Because the first chance, you know what I'm saying, you might have been like, for me, working and home, but now it's like, this is my moment to take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Spend more time with the family, do more activities, you know what I'm saying, go on vacations, or just do something that I want to do.
Yeah,
So that's what I
that's a good
did.
perspective and an outlook for sure. That is a very, very good outlook. Joan sent the request to join. I was trying to see, because I think she had questions. It says adding Joan. I don't know if that was an accident. Um, let me let me see. Melissa said if you need a break, tell your doctor. It could be too much. Oh yeah, with radiation, if you don't know that you can take a break now. Listen, I ended up taking a break involuntarily, and I tell everybody this. I went to the treatment center, and when I got there, I was like shaking because I was already in excruciating pain. I think I was in my 30 something mark, and um, it was all open and exposed and nasty looking here. And then underneath my arm, it was like this whole side was just blistered and red and pink and all of those things. And I needed a break, and I didn't know how to ask for one. So by the time I got there, the thing that stands out, because I have photos of all of this, the thing that really bothered me when I went through radiation,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I don't want to scare anybody. Let me start there because everybody's journey is different. Everybody's skin is different. My skin was sensitive, like extremely sensitive. So when I went through it, I ended up with radiation dermatitis, and it got to the point to where underneath my boob, you could literally see like my vein, like the vein going underneath my breast, and it was all pink. Like everything under there was pink. And when I laid on that table and the skin started like stretching and pulling back, I just hollered involuntarily, and they were like, "Yep, we're not doing this today." So listen to your body. Um, talk to your team because especially if you're having like 30 something rounds, like they're going to let you know, like if we need to skip a day, we can skip a day to give you a break. But you want to get it done. You definitely want to get it done. You don't want to let it linger. I don't advise anybody to take too many breaks. I took the break and I was thankful for the break, but I got back on the wagon and I kept until I got done. Um, and it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna tell nobody it was. It was hard. If Facebook wouldn't ban me, I would show y'all some of the photos, but they're too graphic. So I say that for the ladies in the group. But yeah, radiation is tough and it drains your energy. It makes you tired. Um, so if you're experiencing those things, just know that you're normal too. You know. Anything else? I don't know what happened with John.
Oh no, that's it.
Um, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end for tonight. Like I said, I wanted to be intentional with trying to keep the time at a decent time tonight, because our guest had something else. But I did want to follow up with Shawanda and Lachey, and I'm hoping that Lachey is out partying,
Right.
celebrating. I'm hoping she's celebrating this milestone, this accomplishment that um, I'm hoping she's celebrating this accomplishment. Let me see. Joan said I learned the hard way. My doctor put me out for 2 weeks. Yes, no, couldn't work anymore. And Paula said, "Oh my God." So that's it for Crystal Talks Cancer this week, y'all. Um, just remember what I said. I am working at figuring out how to continue and have a place to save the lives. So we're thinking about transitioning to YouTube. I will do lives here still. However, I will post them over on the Crystal Talks Cancer, and it's already created, the Crystal Talks Cancer YouTube page. So follow Crystal Talks Cancer on YouTube as well. And hopefully one day we will have both platforms up and running and we can get all of the encouragement out there. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. So everybody have an amazing weekend. Be safe and see y'all later. Good
Bye.
night.